Asian on the yeah.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? What is good? Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the Rump boys and girls, what it do? This is the Goal Line Goons. Yo, we have a lot to talk about. First off, let me just say that I hope that everyone out there in fantasy football land survived the first week of bye weeks. I know that I did. I know that I did. I know that I fucking did. I know that I whooped ass.
It just gets worse and worse.
It for some it does keep getting worse and worse. For others, the rich just keep getting richer. Let's go ahead and let's dive into it. You are tuned into your Tuesday night fantasy football waiver wire show, your weekly waiver wire show. Let me make sure I need this. I need this. I can't do this show without it. Let's go ahead and we are going to dive right in. Luckily, Taco, the injury report's kind of small for fantasy football purposes that this week. It's not a laundry list as always. Main ones that you're really going to be missing this week are Omarion Hampton out with the ankle, Darius Slayton hamstring, Britton Strange is going on IR. So our weekly tight end streamer of Britton Strange is no more. We'll be breaking down some new ones for you guys tonight. Taco, how do you feel about the injury slate?
I mean, Omarion Hampton, bro, that shit kind of hurt me, bro, because I just lost Benson. Now I lost Hampton. You know what I mean? And then I had Hendo. And we can talk about him later. But Jesus Christ. It's all coming at once. I got CeeDee Lamb and I got Ricky Pearsall. I forgot I took Ricky Pearsall out of some lineups last week. I was like, no, he played on Thursday. Fuck. Because, some of those lesser $20 leagues, I edited on Saturdays. I forget. So I kind of got screwed last week hard. But that Hampton injury is brutal. I know a lot of people spent decent draft capital on him. After the
I had gotten Kyron for Hampton the week before, so
I was like, oh man, Robbie, you done messed up there. And
how did that turn out?
You fucking, I don't know what you did, what book you read, but McFly, pass me the sports almanac and let's just get some bread.
So let's just go into that. Let's actually let's revisit and let's go into that. So this is a trade you can actually if we're putting this out there on the record, okay? I have even brought it up on previous live streams before. I have texted Mike about it. I've been doing this since since pre-kickoff. Hey, there's a Chargers fan in my league. I know that he's probably going to bite. I think that I want Kyron. I think that Kyron and Hampton, that's a fair value. I think that's a fair trade. This has already been brewing. This shit, I sat and I waited. And then I waited until the first Cigar Lounge stream of the fucking season. And I knew Vic was going to get drunk. He was going to be feeling himself. I knew that he was going to let the newbie to the fantasy league get to his fucking head. Oh, man. Well, I'm undefeated right now, and I'm doing so great. And sure enough, I utilized all, your opponent. Don't just know their roster. Know your opponent. I knew that this is a person that goes off of the impulse. This is a person that gets cocky ahead of time. And I know he loves his Chargers. So I waited till Hampton had the perfect opportunity with Najee out. Got him off my team. No, look, all's fair in love and fucking fantasy football, bro. And right now I'm brewing up a couple of different trades that I'm about to throw out.
I mean, there was also, if we're gonna go on the opposite side of the injury report, the possible comeback report, CD Lamb seemingly is starting to ramp up a little bit. He may not be ready this week, but maybe next week. Ricky Pearsall might give it a go this week.
Bucky
And
Irving
hopefully,
is day to day. Hubbard's day to day.
and
There's a
hopefully we
couple of
get
day to
Jalen Morris.
days.
Yeah. So it's a little bit dicey again with some buys and some injuries. You know, stay up to date, stay posted, and don't be like me. Make sure you check your
Subscribe.
teams before the Thursday games. Just
Subscribe. If you subscribe, we keep you up to date. We keep you posted. We got everything.
Absolutely.
We take care of
Absolutely.
you. Speaking of bye weeks, we only get 2 this week. One of them super hurtful, but we only get 2 this week. One is a little bit of a sigh of relief. You have to bench your Vikings this week. They are on bye after their trip to London, their trip to Ireland and London actually, and the Texans are on bye after laying down an absolute ass whooping on the Baltimore Ravens. Thoughts on the bye weeks as we head into week 6 here?
I think it comes at a good time for both teams. When you look at what happened with Wentz,
What up, Frizzle?
I would say that it's good for him to get a little bit healed up. He's starting to look kind of solid. You know what I mean? And I think it's a good time. For the Houston Texans, the bye is a good time for me so I don't get forced and duped into putting goddamn Woody Marks back in my fucking lineup. Because holy shit, they done did us dirty, man. You done put up all damn points and Woody got nada. Like, oh my God.
So the Woody Marks is interesting, super interesting. 2.4. It's what he put up for fantasy managers, and of course, scoring dependent. Anytime I bring up scoring, I will always throw out scoring dependent because I know certain leagues reward different things, yada yada yada, et cetera, et cetera. With that being said and stated, he's not. I don't. Let me just double check something here in regards to Woody Marks. Okay. All right. He's not on Panic or Chill. So I'll actually just throw out a free Panic or Chill like right now before we do that segment, even like later on at the end of the show. I'm not completely panicked on Woody. I think that it was a situation of we're bullying the fuck out of this team. And I think it was more so of that and less of where we're not really needing Woody. If I see, I don't like that that the volume went down. That was weird. I don't know what D'Amico's doing. I don't know what D'Amico's got cooked up.
Chubb
we'll
did
see how things look after the bye week.
Chubb did have that big run for the touchdown too. So I mean, Chubb didn't look
good,
inept, but I also feel like they're moving a lot to the pass. And CJ, like you said, was just kind of balling out. And when your stud and your leader is just kind of rocking, you just let it roll.
This man dying. Yeah, turn your camera off, you fucker.
Normally I'm good about that kind of just whoops.
Have some fucking etiquette, Taco.
Exit stage left.
Gosh. Wow. Anyways, Woody Marks. No. So yeah, I'm not too panicked. I think that he has done enough throughout the season to kind of warrant, him still being worked into that role. And we still have no idea when the hell and if Joe Mixon comes back. So that's my whole take on the Texans.
Seems like to me, Woody might be a negative game script kind of guy. Like,
how Justice Hill is with the Baltimore.
It's just like you need the guys to be down. They got to kind of like take the the ploddler out.
Bot the building. Yes, we can fix it. Absolutely, you are starting Dobbs this week. I mean, of course, it's dependent on like what options like you have, but Dobbs is the most consistent receiver on that roster. I have a couple of lineups where like, hey, I'm missing Jordan Addison. I am putting in Romeo Dobbs.
I saw that they are designating Watson back for practice. I think Reed is still out. If everyone is out, Dobbs is definitely a start. But once everyone comes back, this shit gets convoluted as fuck. And we're going to have another conversation because Watson and Love have rapport. Reed and Love have rapport. Like, it is just a situation where they have
I've never
depth of wealth.
What I've always said about Christian Watson is what I will always say and state. I've never worried about Christian Watson stepping into a lineup.
You know what he does? He just dilutes the field. He may not be the best, but it kind of just takes away some targets from everyone else. Like Dobbs, that was first Dobbs.
Maybe like one or two, maybe like one or two, or like a couple.
He'll get about 3 targets a game at least, 3 to 4. He will. They just paid him money, and the NFL money talks. They paid him money.
Dobbs, Keenan, Olave, Amon-Ra, who to sit? I mean, obviously, Amon-Ra is the start. It's Olave that's the sit. It's the Olave at this point is entering droppable territory.
What?
Even in a win, Olave was not great for fantasy managers. Even in a win. Now, obviously, you're not dropping him just because, but the panic is very fucking high.
In his last game, he had 7 catches for 59 yards. Game before that, he had 3 for 20 with a touchdown. Game before that, he had 10 for 57, 6 for 54, 7 for 54. He's getting enough
Olave is ass. Olave needs to get traded off of your fantasy team. Olave.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't trade him if I can get something better, but I wouldn't say that he's a droppable player.
You can't even trade Chris Olave at this fucking point, bro. Like, that's how bad it is.
Let's see here.
Like that's how that the panic is so high for Chris Olave. As long as he's a New Orleans Saint, he will not be great. 9.4 fantasy points, like for who he's supposed to be, fuck no. Never having Olave in my lineup. Olave will never be drafted by me.
I mean, I think that's a different situation what you're talking about here. When you look at Olave,
Luther Burden all day.
As crazy as it sounds, right now Olave is wide receiver 23 in single point PPR. That's just
like I said, get rid of him. Get rid of Olave.
For him, I would, but right now in 1 point PPR, he is tied for the 4th most catches in the NFL. And in PPR, that is the cheap money. He is not playing the best. I agree. But his just consistent target share and work makes him a safe player. That's why he's currently a wide receiver.
For those that have followed us for a long time, do not fall into the Olave trap. Olave is a trap.
Like, if you can trade him, I would.
Olave is a trap, just like Zay Flowers is a trap.
They're not the same.
Out of it. Get out of it. Is Kamara going to be bad? Kamara, at this point, I am hearing talks of the Saints being willing. Are they going to do it? Probably not. There are talks of the Saints probably being willing of trading Kamara. I don't think that Kamara is going to necessarily be bad. I think that ship has ran its course with New Orleans, and a new destination is going to be better off for Kamara. If Kamara gets traded at the deadline, then from a fantasy standpoint, the value is salvageable. 7.5 this last week. I'm worrying. There's a running back that when we get into the waiver wire talks, he's been mentioned every week and keeps creeping up and keeps getting more and more usage. Don't know why. Don't know what's going on. Don't know what. I'll tell you what's going on. It's the fact that it's the fucking Saints. It's the Saints. Even in a win, that team was not fantasy valuable. And if it wasn't for, sorry, Taco, the Giants playing down to their competition, the Saints weren't going to be in that game.
You know, I don't know if the Giants play down to their competition or if we fucking suck, bro. Just fucking suck. Like, there's no talent on the fucking team as far as like wide receivers go now that fucking whatchamacallit's gone. Neighbors. And as great as Wan'Dale Robinson is, he's a PPR slot guy. He needs the other guys around him to really kind of pop off. We need a deep threat. Jalen Hyatt's not even viable at this point. So, like, we kind of suck, bro.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Yeah. I keep it real.
Dropping Brashard Smith and Kyle Monangai for Haskins and Vidal. I don't mind this at all because it's interchangeable as fuck. What I do, and what I really, really love about this, and we'll kind of talk about this, you have a unique ability to where you can drop both of those and get both of those. And if you are able to get both of those, how we were talking in the Discord earlier about like a couple of hours ago, this bodes well for you because now you're at least also, not only are you getting the one that may get favored more, Haskins, but then you're also keeping away Vidal away from anyone else in your league in case Vidal should maybe be in a 50-50 committee and this becomes a 50-50 committee. Both of those are well within the range of outcomes. I do think that this role favors Haskins a little bit more, but we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. We kind of already touched on Woody. I'm chill on Woody Marks right now. I'm not panicking on Woody Marks. I wouldn't panic on Woody Marks. Waiver wire ads for this week. I'm gonna actually I know I have it written in a certain order because like of how I thought that I was gonna flow through these in my mind. I need to throw out the first quarterback off the waiver wire because he's still 55% available. And that's Matthew Stafford. And Matthew Stafford is quietly a top 12 fantasy quarterback.
Right now, I got him at 6 in 1 point PPR.
And fantasy managers since the beginning of the season are just letting him sit on the waiver wire. I am seeing people go out there and pick up quarterbacks that have been backup fill-ins over going and getting Matthew Stafford. I was in a league where the week that Jaden was out, they started Mariota. I mean, it still worked for them, but Matthew Stafford was there that whole time. Now, of course, I ended up later on, grabbing Matthew Stafford, as my backup quarterback because I was like, oh, shit, like this works out now for me. This person overlooking the rankings and just being like, plug and play. The plug and play method isn't going to always work when your quarterback goes down in single QB. Luckily in single QB, there's usually a couple of, maybe one or two guys left that where you may not have to necessarily worry about plugging in. I don't know, a fucking Jake Browning. Matthew Stafford's been there this whole time. And this week it is now ticked up to 55%. People are starting to get smart. I want you guys out there to get smart as well if he's available. And if you have a bad backup quarterback or your backup quarterback's just sitting there filling a spot, because a lot of people do that, just please get yourself out of the situation. What's up? Asia, how's it going? Daniel, what up? We're going to be talking about that in a little bit, Leafs. Sam Darnold, 25% availability. Dude, I absolutely love this option as an available option. This offense moves. This offense is able to move the ball. No, you're not going to get the rushing yards with Sam Darnold, but you are going to get good, clean football out of Sam Darnold. So that's what I like. And then to wrap out the quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa had his best game finally without Tyreek Hill. It seems like that was a problem this whole time. The cancer, so to speak, infecting the locker room. So It looks like it's going to be wheels up on Tua. Maybe Tua's back to being somewhat of a serviceable fantasy QB. If you're needing a backup in certain situations or you're needing a fill-in, whatever the case may be, Tua's out there. Taco, your thoughts? Tua went off this week.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Tua and with the Dolphins is addition by subtraction, and this was something that the Chiefs experienced when they got rid of Tyreek Hill and they traded him away. They had less talent, but they did
No
more.
problem.
And they did more. Why? Because it became more of a team game and less of a like diva competition or having to acquiesce or deal with the elephant in the room, and everyone kind of just bought in. And Darren Waller's having a resurgence and showing up and showing out and consistently delivering. So it's just one of those situations where Tua, he's displayed top end talent, and he did it versus a somewhat decent defense based on their previous play. Um, he had 36 pass attempts, was most of his season.
Definitely prayers, Asia.
And then when I look at his schedule, week 13, New Orleans, week 14, the Jets, week 15, Pittsburgh, week 16, Cincinnati, week 17, Tampa Bay. I mean, he's not a bad, grab. And if he's playing good towards the end of the season, he might play his way into relevancy. Those are the kind of ads that intrigue me, where it's like, okay, I can see what you do over the next couple of weeks, and I can drop you if you're trash. But if you play good and we see the schedule, you could be, as we like to say here, fantasy friendly.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. Asia, definitely thoughts and prayers, for you and your family. Definitely sorry to hear that. Thoughts on Sam Darnold. Just wrap up the QBs as well, and then I'll get into the running back list for the waiver
I mean,
wire.
I think when we look at Sam Darnold, he's consistently showing that he can deliver, from his time in Minnesota to his time here with Seattle. He just kind of balls. And I think it was funny. I saw a meme. It was a picture of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady congratulating themselves after a game. And they said, who knew some random day that Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold would, kind of have that, like, I'm gonna tell my kids this was Peyton and Brady kind of game, because they both went off. They delivered big time plays and big time games. That was like a really close game that went back and forth to the end. I think it was like 34-31 final score.
It was
So
crazy.
yeah,
It was astronomical as fuck.
yeah. So he got it. He got it. And I think I'm going to go back again. O'Connell in Minnesota. If he's not coach of the year, I don't know who should be, because this man has taken what's his face, Sam Darnold, and revived his career. He had Daniel Jones for 20 seconds and turned him, or helped usher in the new age of Daniel Jones. And now he brought Carson Wentz back from the dead to be a viable quarterback. I mean, if this doesn't say systems make QBs, I don't know what does.
I will say this: I do approach the Sam Darnold experiment with caution just this week, just because it is Duval that Seattle has to take on. So that is going to be tough. The Jags are already top defense in the league. So that is going to be a tall order. Excited to see Travis Hunter for a couple of plays on JSN and see how that turns out. Travis Hunter putting the clamps on Kelsey last night in the first quarter was interesting as fuck. That was awesome. Getting into the running backs here, Rico Dowdle, 50% available. Rico Dowdle had a 40 burger last week. Insane work. Need I say more? As long as Hubbard is out, Dowdle is wheels up. And it's going to be interesting to get you some Dowdle now, because he exploded so damn well and did so damn good that he might have earned himself some more work even when Hubbard comes back. Michael Carter, 40%. This one is interesting just because Michael Carter kind of gets announced as the lead back following the Trey Benson injury when we thought it was going to be DeMarcado. DeMarcado definitely, after fumbling across the goal line, then getting assaulted by his head coach, then getting his head coach fined today, may not be having an NFL job anymore. So Mario DeMarcado, I'm not. It's interesting because like no one was really explosive outside of Michael Carter's lone touchdown until that Amari DeMarcado big play, and then DeMarcado kind of fucked it all up. But I mean, other than that, it was pretty much even, dead heat even. When you look at the Arizona backfield from last Sunday, if you include the fumbled away touchdown by DeMarcado, you would have had all the backs with double digit, safe floor points, with about 12-ish points on the day. So interesting to see how that one works out. Is it going to now be all Michael Carter because coach is pissed at DeMarcado, or is DeMarcado going to be forgiven following the fine? Keandre Miller keeps seeing an uptick in carries. I don't know if something may be ailing Kamara or if the Saints and Kamara are getting ready to run its course. I kind of alluded to that earlier. Either way, you need to be kind of having Keandre Miller. It seems like we're entering an era where something weird is happening in the backfield of New Orleans. And then also you enter in Taysom Hill, who's also going to be taking carries. It's all fucking weird, but Keandre Miller's 30% available, and he's getting some burn. He's getting some trade, so that one's interesting. Isaiah Davis, 5% available. I don't know if you really want any piece of the Jets. I will package both the final two running backs on the list, Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal, in the same, just because we know that the Chargers are going to run. I'm leaning more so towards thinking that this is going to be Haskins' job, being that Haskins and Harbaugh, have the rapport together, going back to Michigan. But I am also understanding that Vidal is a Harbaugh draft pick from last year, so that there is that too. It's either going to be 60% Haskins or either it's a 50-50 split both ways. So that's what I have to say about the running backs. Taco will take a fancy question, and I'll let you get to the running backs. Josh Allen, Brock Bowers, Rashee Rice. For Mahomes, Metcalf, BTJ. I'm 1-4 with Pitts on my bench and weak wide receivers. Thoughts? Are your receivers really getting any better by bringing over Rice, who isn't going to play for a couple of weeks still anyways? You're giving up QB1 in Josh Allen for Mahomes. I don't think that's fair and equitable at all. Brock Bowers, cool, you clear up not having Pitts, but Pitts is on your bench already anyways. I would say, yeah, what Karam just threw out here in the chat, try and go and get Darren Waller instead of, worrying about, Pitts to kind of clear up the tight end situation. But I mean, this isn't clearing up your wide receiver situation. You're getting Metcalf and BTJ.
I think you're just overpaying for Metcalf. And BTJ, I just don't believe in it yet. Like, he could blow up, but you're paying for something that you shouldn't. Because I think Rice slides into a much better role.
He is 1-4. So this is the point where it's like, fuck it, try something different. He's 1-4.
Rice is back in 2 weeks. You've already waited that long. Rice's upside to me is higher than Metcalf. Allen's better than Mahomes.
No, hear me out. Because in football, we do this all the time. Like in actual football, we do this all the time. You know what? No, we need to create a spark. If this isn't working, then yes, do something different. Then yes, pivot, actually. You are 1-4. You do need to do something different. So I now change my train of thought. If you're 1-4 just by having some nice pieces and ain't doing shit, you need to be focusing on winning games. And I think that's where your thought process is here, Evans. Your focus is I need to be winning games. And I'm almost okay with this to actually go out there and just start tallying up wins.
That Rice pack, when he comes back to me, will probably be a bigger help for you. I would just do my best to put something together for this week, or try to get a better deal where maybe if you're dealing off Rice, you can keep Allen, like, maybe deal Bowers and Rice and try and get something back. I don't see dealing Rice after waiting so long and getting back a BTJ right now as being something long term that's going to help.
This week, I would have to start either Golden or Coleman. It would be Coleman. With Marv, let's see.
I would get
Flex
Carter.
would be Michael Carter. Okay, I would
rather add crash out for Carter than to crash out to get the deal.
I would trot that out there. I would not be very confident about my chances of coming away with wins.
If I'm getting Carter on this team, yes, I guess this will lead me into my.
I'm not trusting the Cardinals.
So let's go back to this DeMarcado Carter situation, because I was seeing that Carter was anointing himself as a starter, but last year when these two players were both on the team and there was injuries, Carter had a definitive role advantage over Mercado, which is why when we came into this game,
I'll make your lineup.
I was kind of huffing and puffing, but like just going off the analytics, it was supposed to be Carter. If we break down the game in attempts and action that they had, not maybe like being on the field, I'm saying actually participating and getting the ball, Carter had 3 rush attempts for 81 yards, with one of that rush attempts being an 81-yard run, okay, which he fumbled at the goal line. When we look at Michael Carter, Carter had 18 runs for 51 yards, 1 touchdown, and 5 catches on 5 targets. He was the clear lead back. Not only was he the clear lead back, he was getting the majority of the targets in the backfield, which if you think about PPR cheat codes, it's bell cow backs that get receiving yards and get touchdowns.
With the upcoming schedule, this is not a cheat code.
I understand having a tough team in Indiana and Green Bay.
It's a death note.
But this is a volume play right here.
By the time Arizona gets off the bye, Michael Carter's value is gone.
Right, Rice comes back the week after this. I get Rice back right after that. I didn't wait all this time to have Rice, who in our estimated pool could be a wide receiver 1.
What you've seen, based off of what you've seen of the Chiefs,
I would crash out for Carter
just by inserting Rashee Rice. That all of a sudden that now makes them better.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Is there any world where Bowers is actually in a nightmare scenario with no QB and possible tanking in Oakland, and also Mahomes needing to continue playing as a top 5 QB the rest of the season? Mahomes is definitely going to need to try and go and get himself in the playoffs. So he's going to have to go out there and be a fucking gamer straight up. That's what you're going to get from Mahomes. That's where I'm like, okay, this kind of the trade actually, in a way, balances itself out. I see Bowers, yes, in a situation where, this is a nightmare scenario. It does not seem that it's going to get any better. I don't think that just like I asked with the Rashee Rice, I don't think that Geno suddenly just gets better by inserting Brock Bowers. I think that it maybe avoids a couple of incompletions and removes maybe a few inconsistencies by having, a great pair of hands on the field that can bail you out of situations. Do I think that it's going to be enough to warrant, especially with the tight end landscape right now? Let's face it, the tight end landscape right now, every fucking tight end is touchdown dependent. For the most part, that is pretty much damn near the consensus.
Well, I mean, when you look at some of the other guys, they do get a decent, like what's his face, Warren. Warren has been pretty solid even without all the touchdowns.
Look at that offense.
The whole tight ends as a general have been down as far as scoring is concerned. When you look at this season, number 1 is Jake Ferguson, he has 41 catches. That's by far pacing the room. Everyone else is roughly around 15 to 20. Tyler Warren currently has 23 catches for 307 yards and only 1 touchdown. He's ranked as tight end number 3.
I'm doing Evans trade.
Personally, I wouldn't. I would package Bowers if I could. If you want to package Josh Allen and Bowers, I think you can get something better.
I also am not. I'm here to chase cash and trophies. I'm not here to play with emotional attachment. I have no attachment to none of these players. I don't care about name. I don't care about nothing. Fuck it. You can go.
PTJ is a trash play though. like I get what you're saying. You're trying to be desperate right now, but I would wait to see if I got Carter off the waiver wire before I even think about making that move. And I honestly, if you want to make a move, you can move Bowers and some of these other guys, but I don't know if I would include BTJ in that deal at all. I'm telling you, you're getting wasted value. And when you're dealing those kind of players off, you're better off just paring it down to Josh Allen and Bowers and trying to get like a Metcalf and a Mahomes and see if you can make that rock. Or throw in a third player that's not, as crazy to kind of just make it float and keep Rice and stay away from Thomas.
Get rid of your headache and make it somebody else's.
But what's your headache?
That's how
Bowers, not Rice. Rice is not your headache. Rice comes back.
Rice is sitting there. Rice is sitting there. The fact that I just got a guy that I ain't getting no production out of, I'm 1-4, bro. You gotta go. I need to use this value to get me something for right now.
But is when he comes back, he's the best non-quarterback in the deal. So for 1 week after you waited all this time, this is your comeback. This is your lick. You can't give up your lick. Rice is better than all those dudes. I just disagree.
No, he's not.
You know what I mean? I'm keeping Rice at all costs.
No, he's not.
If I waited this long for that man, we going down with the ship. That's wide receiver 1 territory right there.
Let's see. Pick up Bourne. Depends on who we're dropping, but yes.
It depends on if the guys are back. Remember, there was no Kittle, there was no Jennings, and there was no
Kittle won't be back. Kittle won't be back.
But Ricky could be back this week.
Ricky.
You got to see what happens with Ricky and Jennings, because then you go from wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 3, and targets mean a fucking shit ton.
Exactly. But this also depends on who we're dropping as well. Yes. Speaking of wide receivers, let's get into the wide receivers. Romeo Doubs 50% availability, probably the most consistent Packers wide receiver. That's not Tucker Kraft. We'll see if coming out of the bye week, maybe they find some way to remedy that. But for right now, it's good for fantasy players. We told you guys to go out there and scoop them last week. Hopefully you went out there and did it. I know that I did. Josh Downs, 48% available. We always like to preach going and getting pieces of high octane offenses. Right now, the Indianapolis Colts are exactly that. I know we're like, what? Like Indianapolis Colts, high octane since when? Since 2025, since Indiana Jones is now the quarterback. Jalen Coker. Carolina loves Jalen Coker. So he's going to get utilized as he continues to get healthier and healthier and work back into the lineup. Kendrick Bourne, 10% availability. I know that he went off last week, but it's just like Taco said, let's keep in mind that everyone was not there from that wide receiver room. So things are going to change. That is going to kind of sway the favoring of maybe going and grabbing a Kendrick Bourne. But I still also like Kendrick Bourne as long as Mac Jones is still the quarterback, because they do have that rapport. So definitely in on Bourne. And Ryan Flournoy, while everyone was running around Jalen Tolbert only ended with 1 fucking target or 1 catch. So that's where we're at in regards to, the whole Jalen Tolbert hype. It seems to be more so Ryan Flournoy hype. Is that more so the fact that Dallas is playing the Jets? That is yet to be determined. Kind of anxious to see how things shake out for Dallas heading into this week. Maybe Dallas has a comeback to earth, kind of party. You know what I'm saying, Taco? Both of us as NFC East guys. They are playing the Carolina Panthers. So there's that. Thoughts on the receivers, Taco? Don't go and get Slayton. Slayton's injured. Stevenson or Cup in the flex. Probably Stevenson, unfortunately.
That situation is so fucked.
We'll talk about it in a minute.
Don't even know. I don't even know.
Thoughts on the receivers for this week? For the waiver wire?
Thoughts on receivers. I think that whatchamacallit is a trap right now. Bourne, all things considered. It's just a little risky. I want to see what happens with Jennings. Because I'm seeing both Jennings and Ricky.
Woody is on bye.
What happened?
Keep going. I was saying that Woody is on bye.
Yeah,
Keep going.
So I definitely think that those two guys make it a little bit trickier for him going into this week. I think Wandell is also, just with the way that thing is playing out there, a little bit scary because the offense sometimes just doesn't look good. And I know the volume has to go somewhere. So Malik Washington definitely let me down. But again, I still have him on the radar because we are seeing Tua looking halfway decent. This guy is pretty explosive. So I think that it's just another name to keep your eyes on as we get a little bit deeper into the season. I see that somehow, some way, Trey Tucker is bouncing back. Good game, bad game, great game, bad game, good game. So by all his standards, it's probably a bad game. So be careful if you're gonna go with Tucker.
That's why I didn't. The consistency isn't there.
Yeah, it's like an every other game thing. So, unfortunately, sometimes you have to play like that and roll the dice. Like, this is the odd game that he should go off. Let me play him.
You're asking about Parker Karam. There's no need to go and get Parker right now with Diami back. Offer Walker for Kamara and hope he gets traded.
No.
I don't want you playing on hopes. I don't want you playing on hypothetical hopes. So no. Walker has a clear cut, he's good. It's yeah.
And Kamara could just be out of gas. Like that is a realistic thing.
He could get traded and then not have that thing back anymore.
He could not get traded and just kind of fall back to Miller. That's also a real possibility.
Yeah.
Because who's going to trade for a running back that's cooked? I mean, shit, you got 4th round rookies popping out of everywhere. 5th round rookie, undrafted rookie.
The more and more I'm seeing Keandre Miller week after week, volume go up, and then also is rostership and fantasy football go up, the more and more I'm seeing that people are starting to begin to fade away from Kamara. If I'm seeing that be the public perception, I'm personally not wanting to be the one holding the bag. So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be left holding the Kamara bag. Let's see here. Did you wrap up everything that you had to say about the receivers? Yeah. For the tight ends. Oh, wait, really quick. One more receiver. Isaiah Bond, 8%. It's the Cleveland Browns. Stay away from the Cleveland Browns situation. We'll get into that in a second. For the tight ends, Darren Waller, 52%. Waller's target share is going up. And Waller's making plays, and Waller's becoming a baller. And it's kind of almost reminiscent of old Waller. And if it is any iota of old Darren Waller, then damn, yeah, I want that on my fantasy team. If you've been sitting around waiting for Isaiah Likely, and I'm sorry, Likely's not popping off with the likes of Cooper Rush underneath fucking center right now. Yes, you can go and you can drop him and you can go and get Waller and you can be comfortable. You can be confident in that. So go check. There's a 50-50 shot he is or is not available. At least like he's a rapper. He is. Mason Taylor, 10%. Mason Taylor here's what you have to. I am such a huge fan of Mason Taylor, and this was one of the tight ends. One of the rookie tight ends heading into the year. I was like, I'm interested. I'm super excited to see what he does. And right now, I'm still saying the same thing. I'm still super interested and super excited to see what he does. I have him on a couple of dynasty leagues, but from a redraft standpoint, I don't know if the Jets offense can produce the points that make it to where I can confidently have him on a roster. But if I'm in a dead to straights, I need a tight end, then okay, fine. Theo Johnson, 9%. We said it last week. Jackson Dart and Theo Johnson, there's a connection there. There's a friendship there. It's brewing. It's for real. And we're seeing it. 2 touchdowns last week for Theo Johnson. We even took him in DFS last week. All right. We're still going to ride the hot hand with Theo Johnson. And I despite what we said at the beginning of the show about the Giants, I think that you guys are perfectly fine. I just think that it was a matter of the Saints just needed to get one. It was the Saints day. It was the Saints day, unfortunately.
I just think that we lack playmakers on the outside, and as great as Scatback is, he doesn't have the explosiveness necessary to really break one off. I think that's something that we are missing on this team. But I do agree with you on Theo Johnson and Dart having a connection, particularly a tight end. Having someone like that to me is very interesting.
Yeah. A rookie quarterback. Yeah. A rookie quarterback's best friend is the tight end.
Yep. They have great rapport too.
Yep. And then also Jake Tongas, as long as Kittle is out and as long as Kyle Shanahan is, running the show, the tight end is going to be involved.
I got one more to add in who's a guy that's been kind of pretty exciting lately, and that's AJ Barner. His targets the last couple of weeks have been 2, 3, 1, 3, 7. Over the last 2 weeks, he's caught in 3 catches and 7 catches, and he's also had 1 touchdown and 2 touchdowns. So in week 4 versus Arizona, he had 3 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown. Week 5 versus Tampa Bay, he had 7 catches, 53 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I'm not saying he's a must start, but if you are desperate at tight end, he's someone that I don't mind taking a shot with.
I picked up AJ Barner in the leagues, and I feel pretty badass about it. What up, nerd? What's good? What's good? What's good, Mike?
Let's go Yankees.
Yeah. I was about to say, that's why I didn't put it up there. Yeah, because 87%. It's time to get into panic or chill, Taco.
Oof. I already know where I got some panic.
Tonight's panic or chill is a little juicy.
Can we start with the last one on your list?
You know what? We can do that. All right. Yeah, exactly. Fuck the Yankees. Let's see here. So first one. Travion Henderson. Panic or chill. The Travion Henderson disrespect is real.
The panic meter is real. I think he must have done.
I said hi.
You know what I think? I think that Travion Henderson probably hit on Vrabel's daughter or something. I don't even know if he has a daughter, but that's how it feels. Like my man tried to get some buns from the coach's daughter, and he said, "You motherfucker," because goddamn, I do not understand how many times Stevenson can fumble and Henderson still not get burned. I don't know how you could have Gibson go out in the first half, and then in the second half, I think he had like 1 fucking carry. It's like I'm not even seeing him using the passing game. They're not even maybe flexing him out, and they're not doing any 2 running back. Everything that I'm seeing here says if he takes over at the end of the season, it's just going to be kind of like
default thing. It's going to be
it's going to be like Stevenson has fumbled just so many times that we decided to give the kid a shot. But I don't know. I mean, technically, the road is clear for him to fucking go off. Stevenson is fumbling like a mofo, and you have Gibson who's out for the year. There's really nothing but air and opportunity, and the coach. And the coach has said, "You shall not pass. You shall not pass. Go to the jail."
May and Diggs turned into Brady and Moss. Hendo is Sony Michelle, and Ramadre is James White. Look, let's keep it real, okay? This is kind of one of the things, and Mike brought it up. This is one of the things that we did kind of fear with Vrabel being the coach in regards to just rookies in general. Vrabel is an old school coach. You're not about to. They have Henderson's name printed incredibly small on the back of his jersey. These things are done intentionally. This is you want the time, you want the space. You on my roster, you will earn it. Vrabel's an old school guy. And he's still going to instill those old school philosophies. And it appears to be working. It may not be working for our fantasy teams. It is working in real football for them to be getting wins, especially wins over a divisional opponent who was undefeated like the Buffalo Bills. With that being said and stated, with Travion Henderson, the clearest path is if Rhamondre continues to fuck up, because eventually Vrabel's going to have to give in to his own inner self and his own philosophies. We're going to have to put you out there, kid. You know, today's the day. It's go time. You know, or Rhamondre goes down and it's like, fuck it. Now we have to run the rookie. It's going to take Vrabel's hand to be forced, I feel. I am still the panic. I'm hovering my hand over the panic button with Gibson going down. I want to see if things maybe now change. And if Vrabel's like, well, fuck, like I have to use the kid now. And I want to see if that influences things. If that influences things, then we'll see. Isn't Mike Vrabel the same motherfucker who didn't start Derrick Henry? Yes. Yes. Like, this is a thing. Like, this is a thing. Well, next year, we will not have any question about who the back is in New England, because it'll be, oh, like they have rapport now. Like, this is how Vrabel is. It is a.
Listen, I have no problem. I have all the hope.
Football's a crazy place
in the world. But right now, the panic meter is on. We're not dropping him, and we're probably not trading him. I'll tell you why we're not trading him. The value just ain't there. It is much like what Robbie said. By the end of the season, this kid might and probably will take over. I am hard pressed to get equal value back on him from what I had originally valued him as. And unless, again, the person puts it in a decent enough trade where I feel comfortable, I'm probably not actively trading him because I'm going to get pennies on the dollar.
I like using Hendo in pairs. I like using Hendo in pairs because it does just kind of sweeten the deal. Right now, this week, I say for a week, you're left holding the bag. In a sense, well, maybe not, just because you can utilize the fact that Gibson is injured as a persuading kind of point, as like a bullet point. Me, when I send trades, I always send, hey, this is why I think that you should be looking at these players in this package, or or this is how this helps you and this helps me, you know, et cetera, et cetera. If I see the person that has Rhamondre, I'm utilizing every single injury that's gone down this year, and I'm like, you need your handcuff. Because this year you actually fucking do. And if I'm the person that has Rhamondre, I'm actually listening. So I won't necessarily say like not trading them yet. There's scenarios. There's scenarios, just like with pretty much damn near most players, any player. Panic or chill. Jacoby Myers. How do you feel about Tyron Chase? Do you feel like he's going to eat with Dart and his dump offs? I
could.
I don't know. I don't know. I want to see that when he gets back, because I think that they might now lean more towards scat. I think that that's just like a thing that's materialized. But panic or chill, Jacoby Myers.
Well, I think that we have a trend emerging. Week 1, 17 points, 17.7. Week 2, 12.8. Week 3, 9.3. Week 4, 7. Week 5, 7.2. His targets went from 10, 12, 4, 7, 6. Receptions 8, 6, 4, 3, 4, 8, 6, 3, 4, 4. And yards 97, 68, 63, 30, 32. So it's clear he's still getting targeted. It's clear that he's not getting as much yards. Why he's not getting as much yards, I am not 100% positive. I haven't seen enough game film. I don't know if he's just not having a good explosive year, if maybe he's dealing with a little injury, or if Brock Bowers not being there to open things up for him kind of hurts. When we look at his game versus Chicago, he had 7 targets, and that led the Raiders. I think that this is one of the ones with Geno, and with this consistent target share, I am going to chill on him. I am still probably going to play him, and I'm assuming that this is just one of those ebbs and flows of the season, and he can get right this week versus Tennessee.
Ryan, everyone but Olave. Start the 3 but Olave.
Yeah.
With the Jacoby Myers situation, I don't want to utilize, maybe Brock Bowers not being there is now like directing like the attention over to you're a fucking NFL wide receiver, act like one, play like one, get yourself open, create real estate. I just watched the Jags game last night where everybody was fucking finding ways to create real estate. And they were not supposed to come away with that win in that game. Nobody had them in that game. No, I don't want to hear excuses. I don't. So for me, with the Jacoby Myers thing, the panic button is smashed. Everything is going down. Everything is going down. No. I know when to get out when the going is good. There's no need to be holding the stock. There's no need to be left holding the bag. He's not startable. You can't. If you put him in a trade package, he's the last piece that anyone is looking, or no one's tantalized by. Like, no one is going. We have the Raiders fan in the chat saying, "Get away." I'm gonna ride with what if the fan base is saying, "Yeah, no." I'm gonna ride with it. It seems to be that Tucker is kind of being the guy getting a lot of the looks. It's just not a great situation. It's not a great situation in Vegas, and even with Pete Carroll as coach, we thought it was going to be better. We thought there was going to be some of that Pete magic left, and I don't think that there is. And I think that all that it's doing is proving why Seattle got away from it, because it was outdated and it was proven that it wasn't working. So I'm out. Panic button is smashed.
Yeah.
Like if I can drop you and go, if I can drop you for your teammate, no,
I wouldn't do that. Like Tucker is even less consistent because he has 2 games of 4, 2 games under 5. He has the big 40-point game. I think it's just, you faced the Chargers, Washington, Chicago, and Indiana. Those 4 teams are actually pretty good this season. This game versus Tennessee is a get-right game. I'll have more determinations after that. Towards the end of the season, it's Chargers, Denver, Philly, Houston, Giants. Man, listen, let's see what he does versus Tennessee. If he does Tennessee good, you sell high. If he does bad, well, I mean, shit, it couldn't only get worse, right?
Yeah,
someone might still believe. Like, I think this is a game where you kind of have to hold him, and more than likely, I would play him. Just at the matchup, seemingly, it should be a get-right game.
Would you play?
Seemingly.
Would you play a Minor over?
No, I'd play
over
Myers.
Myers.
I'd play Myers over him.
I'd play even more over Myers at this point. Would you play Ridley
No.
over? Would you play Ridley over Myers? I feel like I'd play Ridley over Myers at this point. And that Tennessee offense is shit.
I'll be honest with you. Right now, Jacoby Myers is wide receiver 34 in the season with 54 points. And Alec is, 44 with 42 points. Ridley is 42, wide receiver 45 with 42 points. No, I would in this game versus Tennessee, I would ride
Vegas
with
has no
Myers,
defense.
and I think that this has to be a get right game for Myers. I just have that feeling that this is the game. You're gonna get value out of Myers this game. Now, if I don't get value out of Myers this game, that panic button is sky fucking high. But his target share is too much to not want to keep him on my team. Right now in targets, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He's number 13 on the season in wide receiver targets. I know that you don't come down with 100% of your targets and not all targets are equal, but that is saying something that he is getting enough looks. And with that said, he's getting enough looks to stay on the field, in my opinion, or at least on my roster, I should say, and probably in my lineup.
Theo Johnson over Kyle Pitts. Yes, I trust the Giants connection more than I trust Atlanta's connection with the quarterback and the tight end. Tucker has the speed. Jacoby's a casual possession guy. I have Fannin, Mark Andrews, and Mason Taylor. Which one do I drop for Waller? You could drop Mason Taylor for Waller easily and be completely fine with it. It won't even bat an eye. That's equitable. That's an equitable drop.
But remember this about Tucker having the speed and casual possession guys. Casual possession guys win in PPR. I need 5 catches for 50 yards. That's 10 points right there. Cheat code shit. You get that touchdown and then that's 16 points.
They create the space. They're able to catch
possession guys in PPR are the shit. And I'll say this: Kyle Pitts has been looking kind of studly this year, though. Like Kyle Pitts has 8 catches, 8 targets, 7 catches, 59 yards, 5 targets, 4 catches, 37, 6 targets, 4 catches, 39 yards, and in the last game, 5 targets, 5 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown. I have a tight end from what we've seen. Man,
he's had his best season yet. He's had his best season yet.
And when he comes down, we have Carolina, New Orleans, Jets, Seattle, Tampa, Arizona, the Rams. Like, I don't know, man. I like me some Kyle Pitts this year. As much as I love Theo Johnson, I think you're getting more risk associated to this Giants offense. He had 6 catches for 33 yards.
I think that Theo connection is real. I think that Theo connection is real.
I agree with you on that being real, but he's not getting separation like that, and he's not getting the yards. So he's touchdown dependent. Hardcore.
Let's go, Derrick Henry. Panic or chill?
Derrick Henry. I mean, I think at this point in time, when you think about what's going on there in
Baltimore,
and when you see his numbers, I am gonna panic. I was panicking coming into the season because I didn't think that it was sustainable. In week 1, he had 18 carries for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. But since then, 11 catches for 23 yards, 11 rushes for 23 yards, 12 rushes for 50 yards and a touchdown, 8 rushes for 42 yards, which isn't that bad. But I don't understand the volume difference there. For some reason, Baltimore always shies away from the run when they play Kansas City. And in Houston, he had 15 carries for 32 yards and a touchdown. This is not typical normal Derrick Henry numbers. I think that they have to go back to using him some more. I think he's shown flashes of him being a good enough run per carry kind of guy, and we know he's a touchdown guy that while I'm panicked, I am not moving him more than likely. unless I can get a 2Z deal where I'm getting some sort of upgrade. I'm not selling him low. You have next week versus the Rams, then you're going to buy. Then it's Chicago, Miami, Minnesota. Cleveland game's a little tough. Then you go to Jets, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, which then leads into championship week being New England and Green Bay. I think that he would probably be needed in both of those games. So I'm not trading.
You muted yourself.
I'm worried. I'm concerned, but I am not panicking yet.
I'm gonna go chill on this one, just because nobody fears Cooper Rush. Nobody fears the Baltimore Ravens with Cooper Rush. So I think that that's realistically what we're dealing with in regards to the Derrick Henry situation that took place against Baltimore. I can kind of look past KC a little bit, just because, like you already mentioned, they tend to kind of go away from the run against Kansas City. That's just kind of in their DNA. And then also, I mean, that game was a blowout. There's a lot of different reasons why I can look past that one. I did expect them to kind of run Derrick Henry a little bit more with not having Lamar, but I see just how much the importance of having Lamar is. So that's how that's how I feel about that. Let's see here. The final panic or chill is Chris Olave, but before we get into that, we do have a question about kickers. I'm asked, what kickers do you like for next week? I have to drop Fairbairn. He is on bye. Dude, go out there and see if you can go and get Joey Sly. Like for real. I mean, I know it's not like pretty or anything, but I mean, he's the one that's going out there and scoring for Tennessee. He's kicker 2 on the season, surprisingly, or heading into this week projected.
He's kicker 2 on the season in points.
God damn it. Hang on. Who? Fantasy points is depending on your league settings, it's Sly with 94.
Yeah, that's right. Kickers kind of now have their life of their own.
Yeah. But like I'd be trying to look for like Cam Little, Jason Myers,
Cam Little beast. That boy got leg.
Cam Little is a beast. Eddie Pinheiro, those would probably be like guys like I'd see if I could go and get guys that are on high scoring teams with high scoring offenses.
Kaim Fairbairn has been pretty good this year. He's made at least 2 field goals in 4 games.
Fairbairn's on bye. Read the question.
Yeah, this week, yes, but going forward.
Yeah,
you're right.
But no, those would be some of the guys like I'd be looking for. Chris Olave, panic or chill?
I mean, I did talk about him earlier. Right now, where he kind of sits, I'm definitely chilling on him. All the numbers kind of point to him as low key, kind of like a target monster on a bad team where they're going to force feed him the ball. He makes enough plays through his separation that he should get, a 5 for 50, a 6 for 60, with always a touchdown upside. I think based on where you draft him, you could limit your expectations, so you're not expecting like superstar numbers. So I am chilling on him. I think for where you got him, he's actually producing fairly well, because I doubt anyone spent a relatively high pick on him.
For me, it is a panic for a couple of reasons. Look, you want to get towards a fantasy championship, go and get players on good offenses, high octane offenses. That right now, Olave is at best a flex play. Just get out of the situation before you can. When you get towards the fantasy playoffs, New Orleans isn't going to be in a playoff situation to where they're going to need to be feeding Olave. To where Olave is going to be make or breaking your fan. He might break your fantasy team and come to fantasy playoffs. Get out of it now. Go and get players on high-powered offense. Don't let the fact that, but man, he was so good. He's been so good in previous years, or he's a wide receiver one. It's New Orleans. Get out. Like players that play for New Orleans should do. I just got offered Ricky Pearsall, DJ Moore, and Brock Bowers for Travis Etienne, Mason Taylor, and Devontae Smith. What do you think? So you're giving up Etienne. That sucks. I don't like the Pearsall. There's an injury bug going around in San Fran. I don't know how. I don't expect Pearsall to come back, be healthy, for the rest of the season. I think that there's a chance that he very well could, come back and maybe go down middle of November, some shit like that. It's I don't trust that whole situation. DJ Moore, absolutely fuck no. Yeah. I do not want anyone holding the DJ Moore bag. And Brock Bowers, they're giving you the elite pass catcher and an offense that is having passing woes. No, don't do it. At least Shaheed has big playability. Exactly. But even still, League Mate has QB and tight end needs and is stacked at wide receiver. If I give Josh Allen and Brock Bowers, what should I ask for? He has Chase, London, Pittman, Javonte Williams, Diggs, or no, Jameson Williams. Swoopy, he's scamming you. I would be trying to, if I could pry anyone out of those receivers, it would be Pittman. If I could pry anyone out of those receivers,
I'll be honest, I would probably go the other way, and I look at Javonte Williams as a very nice
Jameson Williams.
That's Gmo.
Yeah, these are all receivers.
Oh yeah, if that's Gmo, I probably fade off that. London and Diggs. I think Diggs right now is fucking trending towards real fucking niceness, and if you have, maybe you can get away with like a Brock Bowers or Diggs and something before it gets too late.
If you're going to give up Josh Allen and Bowers, you need to be bringing back at least.
If you're doing Josh Allen and Mahomes home swap though, you got to be keeping that Josh Allen from home swap, and then it's
bringing back Mahomes. If you're going to be bringing back, if you're getting rid of Josh Allen and Brock Bowers, and if this is the Mahomes guy,
yep,
you need to be bringing back Pittman.
I'm cool with London or Diggs. Let me just see something about Pittman.
You need to be bringing back Pittman.
Oh, wow.
He's trying to scam you. Yeah, New Orleans is definitely going to be in the sweepstakes. Both waiver running backs for Chargers. I might grab Aaron Jones instead. If you could grab Aaron Jones, I mean, yeah, that's obviously better than grabbing either of the Chargers running backs. That's clearly the better route to go. Pittman, that Indy offense.
I mean, Daniel Jones looking like Danny Dimes.
Indiana Jones.
Zuby, I would say this though. If you could deal like Devontae Smith and Jordan Mason, I'm assuming that's the Mason that you're talking about, in a deal, I would be interested in that, because I think when Aaron Jones comes back, Mason's role is a little bit wishy-washy.
No, it's not. And he's not talking about Taco. Read the damn chat. Stop it. You've done fucked up the chat twice.
I'll tell you about the other deal.
He never said anything about Jordan Mason. My team is Mayfield, Stroud, Jency, Etienne, Kamara, JSN, Devontae Smith, Mason Taylor, Mark Andrews, Fannin, Shakir, Slayton, Trey Tucker, JMO. I'm somehow 1-4 due to 3 losses where I lost by 1 point. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Players in this that I'd be trying to move off of would be like guys like I'd be trying to move off of Jinty. I've been saying that for like a couple of weeks now. Stroud is just not great. Stroud finally looked like CJ Stroud last week, and he beat a dejected backup quarterback roster having Baltimore Ravens team, so it's not really that fucking great. I like what you were saying earlier in your other question.
You have a lot of tight ends. I would definitely move some tight ends.
Exactly. I would be taking, or no, not that one. Where was it? Fuck. Yeah, see, the league mate is scamming you. You got to find a better trade partner in your situation. You need to find a better trade partner. Leverage Genty's, kind of like hot streak, is good game. See if you can move off him. See if you can move off of Kamara. People are always willing to listen to Kamara, Kamara trade, like Kamara trades. Kamara's stock is down right now, but you just throw out there, hey, he's on the block. People will listen. People will fucking listen. Like, just because he's Alvin Kamara, like, you might be able to, like, you could very well catch someone not even looking at stats, be like, this guy's about to give away Alvin Kamara, and they'll go for it.
Personally, I don't mind that Ricky Pearsall piece. That's someone I personally like and invested in, and so far the season has been pretty solid.
Don't trust the hell. Let's see here. Inconspicuous Panda need to drop either Trey Tucker, DeMarcado, or Franklin to pick up a defense this week. Running back waivers are decimated. Yes, we are at that point where running back waivers are decimated. So it would be the only reason to hold DeMarcado. DeMarcado is probably, out of those three that you're looking at dropping, I would probably be willing to drop DeMarcado the most, just because DeMarcado is in the most shit right now with his coach. It's where he might not see the fucking field. Like, you made your coach explode because you fumbled a 75-yard run, and then you got him fined. Mans may not have a fucking job here soon.
Yeah, it's DeMarcado, Franklin, Tucker would be the last one. Like I was saying, he does have big play potential. He's the speedster. He is a home run hitter, though, so obviously it's an every other kind of game guy. But I would keep him more than the others.
That trade should be vetoed. I would go in the league chat and I'd fucking riot. I'd riot.
Yeah, that's collusion.
That's collusion. That's collusion. I'd riot, bro.
You can't do a third string back, a backup, and a wide receiver too that hasn't gotten hurt all year. Yeah, for James Cook, come on, man. Just for James Cook alone was a come on, man. We didn't even add DK.
DK is worth more than those three. One player.
Either one of those players is worth more than more.
I'd burn the whole league down. He just sent it to me in Discord. Yeah, I'm definitely adding Waller and dropping one of them. Yeah, which would be Mason Taylor. He had a good game, which you can value as a sell high. I've seen so many Kamara trades, nobody wants them. Damn. Yeah, that should not go through. I'd burn the whole league down. Browns are trading. Excuse me. The Browns are trading QB Joe Flacco and a 6th-round pick to the Bengals for a 5th-round pick. What does this do for the fantasy values of Chase and Higgins, and hell, even Chase Brown?
See, I like that you had to come with the hell even Chase Brown, because that's exactly where I was going when you said Chase. Because personally, I have Chase as a roster, and what we've seen from Joe Flacco this year is 8.5 targets to the running back,
Who sent you that stat?
Yeah, Yahoo Fantasy.
Oh,
Yeah.
who sent you that stat? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Wait, you sent that to me? Oh, oh, oh. Hold on. When did I think you sent it to me the same exact time that I added it on Facebook. But yeah, bro, yeah, no, yeah, I agree. That to me is like fucking let's go. Hope. Hope.
A little,
Give me a
a bit
solid
of hope.
13 points a game, and I don't love it, but it's better than nothing. You could work with that. There's hope. I
Look,
mean, I think that's what this thing does. It gives you hope until whatchamacallit comes back, until Joe Burrow, and that's all you need right now. You need someone serviceable. Browning was not it. He was not it. So I'm excited. I'm happy, and I think that we're back on the pathway to viability.
look. I'll say this about the Joe Flacco trade to the Bengals. One, congratulations on completing the NFL jersey rainbow, Flacco. He is now worn officially every color, like shade across the NFL. With that being said and stated, all jokes aside, yes, I do think that this puts us back on the map for Higgins and Jamar Chase owners a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Look, Jamar Chase won't be freaking giving you IDP points at this point, at the very least, so we don't have to worry about that. Um, look, I do I have some worries, okay? Because the turnovers are still going to be prevalent. This is a 40-year-old washed quarterback. So we have to keep that in mind, and keep that into perspective. I think that it's wrong to just not do so. With that being said and stated, I'm holding on to Higgins and Chase for another week. Well, with Chase, I mean, nobody's really trying to take Jamar Chase with the way that he's putting up the fantasy points I mean, well, some people are people are kind of willing to. They're just not trying to give you the value of what Jamar Chase actually is in perspective. They're trying to snuff you on him. So, that's how I feel about the whole trade thing. Che, what is good? Shout out from Wyoming. Hey, the other state right over. Should I trade Alvin Kamara for Bill in full PPR? Bill's the number one rusher per Pro Football Focus. Bill is averaging 6.6 yards per carry. I hate to say it, but yes, you kind of have to. Bill's doing this. Kamara's doing this. I would do it.
I agree.
I would do it. Also curious, why do you think Mason Taylor? Why do you like Mason Taylor less than Mark Andrews? I feel like Mason Taylor has seen some improvement these past couple of weeks, and Mark Andrews is just super boom or 2 or 3 point floor. That is a very solid question. That is a great question, Zupi. I like Mark Andrews a lot better, especially when Lamar Jackson is into the fold. So that's where I do, obviously place one above the other. Mason Taylor is playing with the Jets.
Have you tried trading Mark Andrews at all either? Like, he does have some name value. This is kind of a guy where you might be able to get someone where at the end of the, I'll give Mark a shot. Because again, you could, rational it out and be like, hey, Lamar hasn't played his best. Lamar's going to come around. When Lamar comes around, one of his favorite targets, particularly in the red zone, Mark Andrews, he's going to have the ability to bounce back. Like you said, a tight end, he's a boomer butt. When he booms, he booms. So it's one of those things where some people need a lotto ticket, and particularly when you're doing a different trade, someone might want them for bye weeks. You got some options there. So I would look at trying to trade him. I think Taylor, you might be able to quote unquote stash on the waivers. Taylor's more of a in the know sleeper kind of guy.
I like Taylor more so for dynasty and less for redraft. I want to see Taylor kind of more so develop while yes, it does look like, hey, there's some upside there. It also just looks like there's also the factor of it's the fucking Jets. And
Yeah,
that scares the hell out of me about their not
and
being enough volume to support him.
And as crazy as it sounds, I would rather Taylor probably rest the season, like you're saying, but I wouldn't drop Andrews because I think that you could probably get some sort of value or trade or put him in a 2-for-1 kind of situation to upgrade something.
Exactly. Yeah, there's definitely there's value to be had there. And then also, like I said, there's going to be those boom weeks with Mark Andrews. Bengals are also up against the Packers defense this week. Yes, that is very, very true. Interesting from a stat standpoint. I'm like super curious. I want to know like how if there's ever been a quarterback traded middle of the season and beat the same team twice in a season. Because that would be fucking sick if Joe Flacco could go out there and pull off an upset again against the Packers, just be like, oh, I just have your number for like the whole season. Like that'd be lit as fuck. I might have to throw a little something on that on DraftKings just for the fuck of it, a little single. Let's see here. The Los Angeles Chargers are getting hit with an injury bug, and it's affecting the damn fantasy value, Taco. After being crowned the September champs, like it was pretty much their Super Bowl, should fantasy managers start listing offers for these wide receivers? We know the backfield is pretty much fucking shot. All right. The offensive line is going down at a very massive rate to the point where now it's even starting to affect the pass catchers. What are your thoughts?
Give me Keenan Allen or give me death. Like, yo, my man Low Key is just like super reliable, super
Take Adams from
consistent.
him.
He's someone that, has great rapport with Herbert. He's someone that, what I like to call a PPR monster from the standpoint of he'll get them catches in, he'll get them targets in, and get those cheap points. Currently on the season, he is ranked number 6, I believe, in targets for wide receivers. And I like it. I like it a lot. He's wide receiver 14 in 1 point PPR with no bonuses. He has 3 touchdowns in 5 games, right? That's pretty solid. He did catch touchdowns in the first 3 weeks, where he was getting about 60 yards per game. Now, the last 2 weeks between the Giants and Washington, we've seen kind of less points being scored. But now with the running game changing, I think this opens it up for, at minimum, he's gotten 5 catches in every game. I think we might be able to get back to that 6, 7, 8. Talking about 6, 7, 8 catches. That's 7 points without yards or touchdowns. Yep. Sign me up. I like that. Quentin Johnson has also been delivering so far this season. But when we look at his breakdown, it's 7 targets, 7 targets, 10 targets, 13 targets, and then 4 targets. So, I don't know what happened with Mr. Ladd McConkey, who had that great rapport with with Herbert early. But then when you look at the last game, 7 targets, 5 catches, only 39 yards. He did get the touchdown. It was his best game of the year. That 5 for 39 with the tutty for 15 points. That's what I talk about PPR beasts. I think this is the time to buy low on Ladd. I don't see Quentin Johnson lasting all year, and I see Ladd coming back around. Then you look at his targets: 9, 5, 7, 6, 7 catches, 6, 5, 4, 1, 5. I'm hoping here that we got past the bad. We're heading to the good. When we look at playoffs, he has Kansas City, Dallas, Houston. That to me is viable. That week 16 versus Dallas looks sexy in a game that could potentially take you to the championship. Go get me some Ladd, and I'm not mad at some Keenan Allen.
Kendall, I'd probably hold on to Troy Franklin given the rapport that him and Bo have. If 5 targets is going to have him third in line in that receiving room, then I'll still take that in all honesty. Um, there's a safer floor on a more high powered team and a more passing friendly team than there is for the New York Jets. You're better off probably playing Troy Franklin in your flex up against the Jets this week, and he'll likely outscore Mason Taylor in your flex. Zupi, yes, I do love that. I love that. I love that offer. I absolutely do love that offer.
I would give Genty, Kamara, and Smith to get Adams, Junkins, and if you can get a filler in there, great. If not, I'll just take those two for those three.
Yep. Hey, I'll take those two for those three. Or hey, I
give me
see
that
that
roster spot.
Yep, I see that you're gonna have to drop, whoever the fuck off your bench. I'll take this person like randomly, make it seem like you're doing a favor.
Yep. Hard.
But yeah.
And that would be Kamara. Genty, Smith, Kamara. Keep ETN.
For with the Chargers pass catchers, the way I view that situation, and I view all of those receivers right now, given the current climate of that offense with the injury bug coupled with that, I'm open for sale. If I have QJ, I'm listening. If I have Keenan, I'm listening. If I have Ladd, I'm listening. Because right now at the stage of the game, while maybe not everyone in fantasy land is acknowledging the fantasy bug, the injury bug that is happening within that organization, I'm seeing it. Chargers fans are fucking seeing it. It's all over their social media about it and how their fan base is handling it and grieving it and grieving it. This is one of those situations that I am playing off of. I am playing off of how good this offense has already been. I am playing off of the hype that they have already had. And if I'm holding these players, Keenan, Ladd, QJ, I'm all ears, baby. What's up? I don't think that the game last week against Washington is indicative of what that team actually is. I think that they got to go back, retool the offensive line. You lost, you got to figure out some things with the running game. Clearly now this is going to be a more pass-heavy team, I feel like, because that's where the playmakers are going to be. So they're not going to be able to, rely on the typical Harbaugh philosophies of run the damn ball. So I do kind of like the passing options. I'm even sitting back as a buyer, because Herbert is that damn good of a quarterback to where even with a banged up offensive line, he can still get the ball and push the ball down the field to his guys and make smart plays and not turn the ball over to his guys. So I feel like the volume is still going to be there, but I do feel like that you should be listening to offers because you are going to be able to bring back some dangerous shit for these players. Because this is a team that is going to be vying for playoffs. They are going to be fighting to have playoff seeding, and you want to have your lineup lined up synonymous with that, with teams that are going to be having something to fucking play for. So I think this team is super fantasy friendly when it comes to trade bait, and I think that these receivers are super fantasy friendly when it comes to trade bait, both for offering and also acquiring them onto your fantasy lineup. I think that you can make some equitable deals. Things all NFL fans must accept, and then we're going to get out of here. Mac Jones deserves one of the starting 31 jobs in the NFL. All right. The man
depends on his coach.
Huh?
I said depends on his coach.
Look, the way he's balled, he's played himself into, an opportunity. Now, will he get it? No, likely not, but still.
I think next year he'll probably get a shot.
Yeah, next year, yeah.
If Daniel Jones can go from off the bench to a starter, macaroni and cheese is gonna find his way onto a team.
Yeah, this is the NFL
Hello,
where
Jets.
This is a league. This is a copycat league, and I think that after a couple of years of seeing the trends of the Bakers, the Sam Darnolds, now Indiana Jones, we could see maybe Mac get an opportunity, next year. Carson Wentz should remain QB1 for the Minnesota Vikings. I don't give a damn about the JJ hype. You have to go with the hot hand. This is the NFL. This is a week-to-week sport. This is not baseball or football where you can kind of play around with things because you get a couple of games to figure things out. You're not given that in the NFL. You had your 4 weeks to figure it out. That's what September football is for. Now this is your identity. So I feel like Minnesota, you need to lock in and make a decision during the bye week. Javonte Williams is the biggest fantasy steal. No one thought that was gonna happen. Remember me? I traded Judkins for Mbuka. I am happy that you have Mbuka, Martin. I am fucking happy. Yes, I remember. Do I think the Chargers defense is a good start this week?
I think that you might have some better options. It's not terrible, but it's not great. They're facing Miami, who this offense hasn't been stellar themselves, so the matchup really isn't the best. But I do think that you probably might see a better option available.
I would look for better options, and if that's the best, then fuck it. I'm with you, Taco. Drake May will finish the season as a top 8 QB.
All aboard!
The Jaguars are an AFC dark horse. Jamar Chase fantasy stock up with Flacco. Justin Fields is not the answer at QB for the Jets.
Macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese. Mac and cheesy cheese. I see it. He fits the profile of a Jets quarterback.
And Jalen Waddle will continue to feast without Tyreek Hill. We've told you guys for that for weeks. Can we comfortably start Bill Kamara 2.0? At this point after last week, I mean, I've had him more lineups throughout the first 5 weeks of football than not. Had him in the lineup last week, and it paid off dividends. I'm at the point where I'm comfortable. I'm at the point where I'm willing. I've been playing him in my flex, and that's where I've been keeping him. That's probably where I'm gonna keep him because I'm comfortable enough with my RB1s and 2s. So, but I said it during the offseason. How are you gonna win your flex? Bill. I'm gonna go and draft Bill. And everyone thought that I was crazy and I was too high. Look at us now. A kicker off of the waivers to keep your eye on. I dropped some names earlier. I'm willing to throw Myers out there. I'm willing to throw Joey Sly. Shout out to North Stafford High School, NSHS. Shout out to Virginia Tech. I'm willing to. What were some of the other names that I threw out there during the kicker question? Ah, shit.
Cam Little
was one of the names I threw out there.
The guy from Tennessee, Sly is definitely up there.
Sly, the guy. You mean my math teacher's son? You mean Hey, really quick, RIP AJ Sly Strong, baby. Yeah, no. Only other ones I see are New England and Las Vegas, Titans, Cowboys, Bucks for defenses.
I would take New England. They're facing the Saints.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I would do that. I would take New England. I traded Bucky and Jacoby for Nico and Kamara. Did I get fleeced?
It depends on if
rebalance your team.
If that Jacoby pack comes back, you're good. If that Kamara comes back, come back. Yeah, I think it's a risk for a risk, Bucky has the injury. Nico is a big walking injury.
I would have probably
well.
rolled. I probably would have rode with Bucky. I probably would have just with Jacoby. I would have just flirted around with waivers or either found a trade partner.
Personally, I agree there. But I think Nico does have the chance to be the best player in that deal.
Yep. Chase McLaughlin. Yep. Dicker the kicker. Matt Gay. Probably not Matt Gay, honestly. McManus. Yeah. I see Sly just submitted a claim for him. Yeah. Someone dropped Eddie Pinheiro today too. They're probably a Bears fan that's scarred from the fucking past. Double doink. Mm-hmm. If you know a Bears fan, just shout double doink. They'll if they're a true Bears fan, they'll remember the Eddie Pinheiro double doink kick. I traded Bucky and Jacoby for Nico and all right. Oh yeah, I already answered that one. Fuck. All righty. Other than that, that is tonight's show. I hope that everyone enjoyed. We did run a little bit long. Didn't hear the answer. I said I said yes. It was for me personally. I feel like it was. I won't say fleeced. I feel like you rebalanced your roster.
Yeah, I personally think that I would take the Bucky Jacoby side, but I do think that Nico at the end of the day could be the number one player, and there is a path to Kamara bouncing back. So, I mean, do I love it? No. Do I think he got fleeced? I think that's a bit strong when you think about Bucky being hurt right now currently. So I think that's a bit strong.
Exactly. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. Shout out to the Goal Line Goons crew. We'll catch you tomorrow. Yep, tomorrow, AMA Wednesdays. Bring your rosters, bring your questions. If anything changes, I got more like answers and everything for you. So I got you tomorrow on AMA Wednesdays. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rum Boys and girls. What it do? We out of here. Peace. Yeah.